Is it me?
Is it me? Hello everybody and welcome back to Third Act. Hello again, twice in 1 week. So for the second video this week, we're going to be talking about a few schools. First, we're going to be talking about the Harlingen Conservatory. They did Legally Blonde. We're going to be talking about PSJA Memorial. They did Freaky Friday. PSJA Bears, they did Ruthless. And then we're going to be talking about Sherryland High School, who did The Wizard of Oz. What a lineup for today. What a lineup. I'm excited. Look, I graduated from Sherryland High School a long
Many
time
years
ago. I'm not going to age myself, but I am very excited to go ahead and start talking about that school. Like earlier this week, I actually didn't get to see Sherryland High School perform The Wizard of Oz. I'm pretty sure I had some prior commitments, but
She was working.
yeah, I was working. So my bestie went ahead and went, and he went knowing that I graduated from the school. So I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, dude, and I think you need to be honest because that's the place I grew up, right? Obviously we don't have the same directors anymore or anything like that, but yeah, I'm curious to see where that department went. But okay, let's go ahead and start with the first show, which is The Wizard of Oz from Sherryland High School. So, first impressions when you got there.
Okay, well, this was actually the first show that I've ever seen at the school. I've been to the school, ?
I'm sure I've shown you around before.
But I've never seen a show here. LOL. So yeah, so this was my first show. The theater is a lot smaller than I imagined. Obviously, this is not like their fault, right? But it was a lot smaller when I walked in. So my first impression was like, wow, this is really small. But first impression, you walked in, you were able to see the set. And it was set up for obviously like the beginning of The Wizard of Oz, where it's outside of on M's and what's the uncle's name? Do you know? I don't know. But they're outside, this farmhouse, right? This is where the story takes place at the beginning. I appreciated the amount of detail in this scene. I felt like it really captured the essence of like where we are at the beginning of the story.
But when you mean detail, do you mean the detail in
the set?
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't say that.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I just want to know.
For this part of the show, the set had a good amount of detail.
Okay.
So I liked that a lot. And I guess going into that, like knowing that this set has to change after the tornado. So that was cool. I was like, okay, how are they going to do this, right? I'm always thinking about that. Like, especially when you know a show, you like go there and you're like, this is nice, but
how are you going to pull
all
it
of
off?
this is going to change in like 50 seconds. So like, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing with the set change. When we went from the beginning to Munchkin Land, a lot of it happened behind the curtain. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
A lot of it happened behind the curtain. I wish there was more of whoa, and I hate to compare it to this because I don't like doing this. And for those of you who watch these videos know that I don't like doing this, but like in the movie, it's a wow factor.
Yeah.
Like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like, no pun intended. Like, literally, like, so for me, it was kind of like, okay, like,
there could have been so much more done.
Yes, okay. I get it. Like, I got it. Like, there was movement. But I felt like it could have been a little more... Like, there was detail in the beginning, and I wish it had just been carried over.
Okay, so The Wizard of Oz, again, very flashy show, right? So...
Agreed.
Costumes. How were the costumes in the show?
Dorothy's costume, A1. I think it was pretty classic. It was pretty... on the nose when it came to like who we envisioned Dorothy as, right?
Yeah.
Scarecrow, I liked her costume. Tin Man, I liked his costume. The Lion, I liked the costume. I just felt like it was too big. And this is like one of those nitpicky things for me. I just feel like it was very like, maybe it was meant like that because he's supposed to be a lion. You get
Well,
me?
yes, but
I feel like
big in what sense?
it wasn't like
volume.
fitting.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
I get that.
Yeah. I mean, not that it has to be, but like I feel like since the other ones looked so like put together on the people, I feel like that one was just kind of like
Like your eye would go to it, but not in a good way.
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
like an outlier.
Because in stuff like that, you can always add padding. You can always add like pillow.
But
stuff
for me, the costumes of the 4 main characters, I really enjoyed. I feel like the costumes for the ensemble members could have had a little more, like, oomph to it.
Okay.
But I think that goes hand in hand with, like, the transition into Munchkinland. So I feel like if the costumes had been super over the top, then I really would have felt a disconnect with the Munchkinland, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it was consistent with the set change, but I feel like I needed both of them to be
more
amped up.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because there was a part of the show where a piece of set came out and it looked stunning.
Yeah.
Like, it was the gate to Oz.
Okay.
And then it turned into the witch's castle when you flipped it over.
Ooh.
My face. Literally sat there and I was jaw on the floor. Like, I literally was like, whoa.
Look, if it was the art department that worked on it, yeah, they're amazing. That art department at that school is really, really, really good. And they were always so willing to help.
See, and I feel like if that's the case, like if the art department did have a hand in it, I feel like more detail should have gone into the whole production of it, like the whole set. Like if they worked on the set, I feel like they should have put a little more detail into, especially the Munchkinland set.
Well, it takes a village, right? So
yeah, and again, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just like I feel like that switch is so like it's supposed to take your breath away, and for me, it really didn't. Like I feel like it was just
that's
like
okay, yeah,
like we're here now. We're gonna follow the yellow brick road, you know. Like I feel like it just could have been a little more amped up.
Before we move on to the next show, did you have any other standouts?
Okay, so for me, acting standouts for me were definitely The Cowardly Lion. Okay, and I need to formally apologize to Cherryland High School because I do not have a playbill.
Oh.
And normally I do, and I'm really good about keeping them. I don't know where it went. It's somewhere in the black hole that is my bedroom. So I do apologize. Sorry to this man.
It's okay.
But I don't know his name, but he was probably my favorite part of the show. So if you're watching this, congratulations. You're still in the running towards becoming America's Next Top Model. I loved your performance. I think your energy was so great. And it was literally like just so cool to see. I was always wondering what you were going to do next. I really enjoyed your energy. But I can't not talk about the chemistry between the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man.
Okay.
I feel like they played off each other really, really well. And I think that's what made it a good show in my eyes.
Okay, well, moving right along into the next show, we are going to talk about Piaget, A Memorial Freaky Friday. I haven't seen this show since Dancing at Tiffany's did it.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
So summer of 2019, question mark?
I think so.
Okay, so what were your first impressions? Because I have a few, but I'll ask you first of the show.
Okay, when we got there, I saw the curtains were closed. And they had on the side some set pieces already set up. Like, you could tell which one was part of the house or the bedroom. And the school on the other side, right? I love seeing those details before a show because you can set the mood a little bit about where your show is going or what it's about for the people that don't know, right? So this show has a lot of high school kids, so I really like seeing the lockers. Like it's in the detail for me when it comes to shows like this. And I love seeing the characters' homes or their bedrooms because it gives them a lot more personality. And I really enjoy those kind of details.
I enjoyed the replication. Is that a word? Guys, the replication. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
The replica? Can you they made a copy of?
Yeah, well, I don't want to say a copy of because then that's like negative connotation. But anyway, so they made a copy of the like original set.
Yeah.
Which normally is sometimes really bad. But in this case, it wasn't. And honestly, I really liked it because I felt like it suited their stage perfectly.
It did.
And it was spread out enough that it wasn't like, oh my god, what am I looking at? It was like very like, okay, now I'm here, like I'm in the middle.
And it wasn't an empty enough space for you to be like, where am I? They really used as much space as possible, or they spread everything out like perfectly.
This type of set is also like a combination of what you and I like. It's not nothing, but it also isn't a lot, if that makes any sense. Like it's in a sweet spot, like for our tastes.
Yeah. I agree.
Like it's just enough to tell you where you are, but it's not like a wall. You know, like it's not like this is a room. This is, you know. So that's what I like about the original set. So seeing that replicated on stage was really cool.
Really cool.
And I did like the duality of the pillars that they had. So like it was a cabinet in the kitchen and then you turned it and it was Ellie's closet. And then you turned it and it was her locker at school. So like I think the original set does a really good job of doing that, and they did the same thing for me. I feel like it was a really good like replica of it.
I want to go ahead and move on into choreography.
Okay.
If that's okay with you. So I liked the way that they used their space when it came to choreography, right? So you have all the set pieces behind you and they did a lot of the stuff in front of it, right? As they should. But what I liked was that they spread enough to have those empty spots be filled, which is what I like. If you're not filling the stage with bodies, man, fill it with a set something. The only thing with the choreography is that some people were a few steps behind at some point.
Okay.
And I could tell. I've never seen one of the rehearsals or anything like that, but you can tell when someone, just one person, if you're not in sync with the rest of the ensemble, you can tell. If you're not a dancer like myself, just keep practicing. Like it's just a matter of like being able to get together with your ensemble and being able to practice as much as you need, because some people that don't dance need a lot more practice.
Okay, so jumping from choreography into singing, this is my favorite part of all musicals. I love it. I'm a singer myself. I really enjoyed how the two main characters, the daughter and the mom, this is another show that I don't have a play before. I do apologize. I'm really sorry. I think it was digital and I didn't screenshot it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But I think they complemented each other really well.
They did.
With their voices.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I will say this. I was a little skeptical.
It's a hard show to do vocally.
Yes. But y'all grabbed me when you switched. So I feel like for me, it wasn't really my favorite song, the beginning. I think it's called One More Day, right? Or Just One Day?
Just One Day.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but when you guys switched, I was there for it. Like, I feel like that was when I was like, okay, take me there. Like, I'm here for that journey. I feel like shows like this also really thrive on knowing your counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the reason I say that is because when you guys do character work together, you can be like, oh, so when you're playing Ellie, which is the daughter, you do this thing where you like put your hair back, or like you do this thing where you like you're always fixing your shirt. You can kind of pick up on the little things that they do, so that when that switch happens, you can do those too, and it's like,
Seamless.
like, you know, and that I think could be used a little more in the show. I don't think it was like not there, but I feel like this is one of those shows where those details could make so much of a difference.
They matter.
Because then you're like, oh, like, okay, like they really switched,
Yeah.
but obviously you didn't, right? That's the beauty of acting.
I really like the chemistry that they had together. It was just like, it sent me. This is one of the shows that I really want to play one of these characters, like either the mom or the daughter, Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really like the show a lot. The one that I wish could have umped up their energy a little bit more was Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like an energy thing, because he's supposed to be super confident, right? But also not full of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to see a little bit more of that. All right, well, let's go ahead and move along to the next show. We're going to be talking about PSJA Bears Ruthless. We saw this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, this was more towards the middle of December.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't that long ago, but it was like almost 2 months ago now.
Okay, let's not. All right, well, let's go ahead and start talking about this show. First impressions, what did you think?
So first, I was really drawn to this musical just because it's only women. It's an all-female musical. That's right up my alley. I love a strong female lead.
As it should.
I had never heard of it.
Me neither.
Didn't know what it was about. Like, didn't know anything. I was like, all right, cool. So we went. The curtain was closed, so we didn't get to see the set until the show started. What did you think of the set? Because I liked it, but I want to hear what you think about it.
I really like this set.
Why,
I
Daniela?
really like this set because they used all their space. I love shows again that use their space, right? And so, literally, it was a set that did not move. If they wanted to go somewhere else, they would just close the curtains, and that's completely fine. A lot of people are not okay with that. I'm okay with it. But again, my opinion doesn't matter, does it? Anyway, so the set was stunning. Really like the detail that they had with the trim, with the couch, with the detail of the patterns, the color scheme. I don't know. I really like the set. You could tell who the characters were. You could tell how they grew up. Like, that's what I like to learn about the set. You get to know the characters that you've known nothing about. But yeah, what did you think?
I enjoyed the transition from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, like the curtain closing, right? I also enjoyed the transition from Act 1 to Act 2. They moved, for those of you who saw the show, they moved from like a house in the suburbs to a penthouse apartment in New York, which I thought was like,
It's
what?
so cool. It was such a cool change.
Dude, it really was. And I feel like it was, obviously, you can tell it's like a similar set, but like they do so much to change it that it was like, what?
Yeah.
So
They had the same layout, right?
Yeah.
But they just like switched up the walls, switched up the furniture, switched up like all
Everything.
the details that count into learning about the character.
yeah, and so I really enjoyed that transition from Act 1 to Act 2. I think it was really awesome to see that, because the story does take a turn in Act 2, so like it's really like indicative of what's about to happen, if that makes any sense. I would like to talk about the acting for a little bit. I have the Playbill guys. Oh my god, let me get her name right.
Oh my
So, Judy. She was played by Isa Correa. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Judy Denmark, you have my heart. I really enjoyed your performance. So for those of you who saw the show, didn't see the show, sorry. She played like a typical like 1950s, housewife, like homemaker, right? In Act 1. And then in Act 2,
Became Hobby.
please stop. She played like I guess like a Broadway diva, like actress extraordinaire, if you will. She killed that switch.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, this is a different person. But honestly, I think, because I'll be honest, in Act 1, I was like, okay, this is really fake. Like I was like, this is like too much.
I think that was the point.
So yes, so segueing into that, like seeing her switch in Act 2, I was like, oh, okay. So like I think it was a little exaggerated just so when she did that switch, it was like, who are we looking at? Like this is a different person. And I really, really enjoyed her performance. I thought it was, in my opinion, I thought it was the strongest of all the girls that were on the stage.
She was really, really, really good.
It definitely wasn't the only one that I enjoyed, but hers to me was the one where I was like, okay, like, and she kind of is the main character of the show. I could argue that, even though there's about 3 women that share that similar title, but I think I enjoyed her performance the most. So if you're watching this, congratulations. You're still in the running towards becoming America's Next Top Model. How did you feel about the music?
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. So I loved their acting so much, but their singing it needed to be on the same level. There was times that I was like getting so ready because they would set up the emotional, because you know how singing is like a burst of emotion that you can't contain into words, right? That's for me. Sorry. But I liked the build up so much, but then there was some notes that just weren't working, and it wasn't, I don't know if it just might be like, I really don't know if it was the music that they had a disconnect with, but I felt like there wasn't that connection with the music as much as there was with the acting. But if it hadn't been for those moments, I feel like this show would have been like a lot better for me. But it was just those moments where the singing was just off. And their comedy, they worked it. Their timing, they worked it. It was just that one thing, like the singing, where I wish, just like you take time when you're not a dancer, and you put your time into it. Like, girls, y'all gotta put your time into that singing, like, and y'all gotta be able to learn, right, to like have that ear for it.
I think, going just real quick into comedy, I think the one who did comedy for me was the actress who played Tina, Ana Daniela Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, like, you had me in stitches. Like, your expressions, the way you delivered some of your lines, how you looked at the audience during some of those moments, killed me.
Yeah.
Pun intended. All right, so the last show that we're going to be talking about in this video is Harlingen Conservatory's Legally Blonde. This was the second show we saw this season, so we're taking it all the way back to September. But what did you think of the show? What was your first impression?
Well, let me just tell you that this is a very unforgettable show.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I don't like Legally Blonde musical.
Controversial yet brave statement.
I can't with you. But here's the thing. I loved it. I loved it. Why don't I like Legally Blonde? Because I really love the movie, and it's a little weird transitioning it into a musical. But now I can't stop listening to the soundtrack because of the people that I heard on stage. But okay, let's go right ahead and talk about the show. Their set. Let's just go ahead and start talking about that. Their set was professionally done, I believe. But dude, what a blessing to be able to rent out stuff like that. What a blessing it is. And being able to teach your kids, like, this is the kind of stuff that you can work with if you work in the professional theater. Like, I think it's very unique.
I loved every minute of the show. Like, I can't lie. The set, A1, definitely professionally done. And if not, like I said previously, come build my home. Because that was really well done. I enjoyed. I think my favorite part was the ensemble. Like, and not to like put down the lead actors because I'm gonna talk about them in a second, but I think the ensemble for this was so strong that it just sold me. Like, I mean, I think like the ensemble for this show is very like fluid, if that makes any sense. Like,
It
they
makes
have
sense.
to be like, you have to go places. Like, it's not just like I'm this one character.
You have to also have a lot of stamina because this is a really like fast-paced show, but also has really strong songs, where it's like you have to follow along with Elle. Like, you have to keep up with her mind. That's like so unique and so like, oh.
And honestly, like, I feel like the energy of this ensemble really set the bar so high. Because it was unmatched. It felt so real. You know those shows where you forget that you're watching a show? That was this for me.
Or
Like,
a show that you're watching with high schoolers.
yeah.
Like,
So for me, like, that was a big factor for me because I really, really enjoyed it.
okay, we gotta talk about Benjamin because he surprised me and Tristan. They both surprised me a lot in the show. But their voices were so unique to this kind of contemporary kind of sound. They both went with really cool like character choices, and I truly believed they were who they were. Like, I was sold immediately for both of them. Tristan playing the bad guy, but also Ben playing the bad guy. Like, oh, it was so cool. I love seeing them. I love seeing them acting. I love hearing them singing. It was so unique.
I don't have a playbill because this one was digital and this was back in September. But the actress, if you're watching this, the actress who played Vivian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was really good.
Okay.
No, I thought you were going to start talking about the Queen and the Scooter.
Oh.
But
okay, well, we'll get
she
to
needs
her
her moment.
I don't know your name and I do apologize. I'm so sorry. Please. But
She
I am
did
a
really
huge
good
fan.
job.
So again, not to compare it to the movie. But in the movie, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, Selma Blair is one of my favorite actresses ever. I think she's super talented, and she was iconic in this era of like her acting career because she always played the bitch, like, and she was so good at it, like, and so I have a really high standard for people who play this character, and girl, I mean, expectations exceeded. Like, it was so fun to watch you on stage. And I was just truly encapsulated by it. Like, I was just like, oh, like, this is one of those where, like, I want to play this character, but I obviously can't for obvious reasons. But I loved it. I loved it so much.
We gotta talk about the Queen and the Scooter, Miss Katie. We loved her in La Mancha. Oh,
this was pre-La Mancha, by the way.
This was pre-La Mancha, but I loved her in La Mancha. But dude, seeing her in two shows like these, like, her range is insane. And I'm not talking about just singing, I'm talking about her acting. Like, girl, you killed it. And was she actually in a scooter? Like, that wasn't a character choice.
No.
Like,
so,
she actually broke.
I don't know. I know that
What?
there was an injury, yes. So I know that they had to work around that for Legally Blonde. If I'm incorrect about that, please correct me in the comments, please. But yeah, and what's funny is that I didn't even notice. Like, I thought it was part of the show.
Me too. That's why I was like, that's cool.
I was like, oh,
and then I was like,
okay. Maybe they're gonna explain it later on how she like broke her leg or whatever.
They're not explaining it.
I
Oh,
know.
she's in the lobby with the scooter. Oh my gosh, girl, what?
So
That's commitment. That's commitment. If you're willing to do a show in a scooter, like, oh, I have a broken leg, I can get a scooter. Like, it's no worry.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Like,
And I think
that just shows true commitment.
talking about the range a little bit, I will have to say, since this was pre La Mancha, when I saw La Mancha, I did not know that was her.
Nope. You
So,
had to tell me, and I was like,
yeah, and that's because
No.
I had to think about it for a second because I didn't know. I thought it was two different people, two different actresses.
girl, look at you, glowing.
Really, really stunning performance.
Lauren, she played Paulette. Sent us completely. We could not stop talking about you, girl. You got moves. First of all, you got a beautiful voice. Your acting is insane. I was sold. From the moment you came on, I was sold.
For those of you who didn't get to see the show, the best way that I could describe it is, and I hope this is like not weird for me to say this because I truly mean it as a compliment and I hope you take it 100% seriously.
Oh gosh.
But that's literally what I imagine it's sounding like when the angels sing to me when I enter heaven. Because literally, like, there was not a single flaw in your voice.
You're not wrong.
I truly would have totally believed if I had gone to the booth and saw that it was pre-recorded with autotune and like pitch correction.
That's how beautiful
because
your voice
it
is,
was-
girl.
It was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, like, I literally can't.
You said the P word.
I cannot find a single thing to say like no. Like, I mean, how? Like, where? When? Why? I was dumbfounded. Like, beautiful, stunning, iconic. So it seems like we're going to be talking about literally everybody who had a speaking part in the show.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I cannot let the video end without us talking about Bruce Gonzalez, who played Emmett. I don't think there was better casting.
I know.
I think he fit perfectly into who I see the character as. Obviously, I guess that's a bias. I don't care.
They had really good chemistry too.
Yeah, I feel like they really connected on stage for me. And honestly, like, I don't think it was that romantic, but I feel like the show doesn't really call for them to be super romantic.
No.
Like, I feel like it's more of like that friendship that blooms into something else and you know what it's gonna be at the end of it. And I think they did a really good job of portraying that. And it was really cute
You
in my
did
eyes.
so well. And your voice?
You have a wonderful voice.
So clear.
I was blown away. Literally, like, all the voices in this cast, like, ensemble, leading character, like, all of them were so good.
Y'all put in the work.
So, I mean, congratulations to you guys, because that was a really amazing performance. We have to give the spotlight to Miss Erin Blunt. If you're watching this, you know I'm a huge fan. You know we're huge fans. And
You truly transformed into Elle Woods. And not the classic. You made it your own.
so I wanted to talk about that because I feel like you found a perfect sweet spot between who she's portrayed as in the movie, who she's portrayed as on Broadway, and then you found like that perfect middle ground, and it was like this beautiful like Erin version of Elle Woods.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool. But I need to shout you out because you're literally on stage for like 95%
Yep.
of this musical.
Mm-hmm.
And that is tough. Like, I don't even know how people on Broadway do that. And just to end it off, like, I just have to say, Harlingen, you killed it this season. Like, it was something else, guys. Like, I can't even I'm speechless. Like, I can't even put it into words.
Like acting and singing alone, if you just want to base it off of that, they blew it out of the park.
Yeah. I'm like, you couldn't have said it better.
Those kids are very disciplined. I love
Yeah.
it. And that's what it takes. It takes a lot of discipline.
Alright, guys, so that's all we have for you this week. So this was the second video of this week, but next week we are also going to be back with 2 more new videos to finish out this season. We're super excited. The Palm Award nominations are imminent. They're in a few weeks, and we're super excited. So we're going to get through these videos super quick so you guys can watch all these reviews before they announce the nominations. So next week's video, which will be coming out on Tuesday the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
Next week's video, we will be reviewing McCallum Memorial's The Amish Project, Rio Grande City High School's Aladdin, Nikki Rowe's Little Shop of Horrors, and last but not least, Donna North's Once on This Island. We're super excited to talk about all these shows. After this, there's only 4 more that we're going to talk about, and then that concludes the season. It was really short because we jam-packed them all together. But we're super excited and we cannot wait for you guys to watch this video. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We want to thank all the schools, the directors, the cast, the crews, for all the hard work that you guys put into these shows. It is not going unnoticed, and I hope you guys know that. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Bye.
No.
Sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man.